Welcome everybody to our session this evening. Wherever you're joining us from, whether that's here in Japan, where I'm based, or whether that's coming from overseas. For those of you who don't know, Paul is actually based in Adelaide in Australia. He will give you some more information about that. Welcome to our Mind Nation Masterclass. My name is Dan Harrison, for those of you who don't know me, and my business partner and very good friend, Paul Averill, is joining me this evening.
Great to be here, guys.
Fantastic. So first thing we want to do is let everybody know what we're going to be learning, what we're going to be going through in this evening's session. So today's agenda, the first thing that we want to talk to you about is why did we create Mind Nation? We want to give you a little bit of detail about our journey and how we came to creating what is Mind Nation and the reason behind it and why our lives came to forming this company. Then we're going to move very quickly into how to create the positive habit within 30 days. The reason why you came today to learn something that you're going to be able to take away and implement into your lives straight away. After we've finished with the training, we're going to move into a little bit of detail about Mind Nation and what it's all about and how you can become part of the Mind Nation family. What is it that you get if you are part of that family? And finally, for those of you who stayed to the end of the session today, we've got a very exciting bonus, something that only those of you who are on the session will receive, and a special secret gift for you as well. Again, only for those of you who stay right to the very end of the training. So something only for those of you who are coming today. So that should be very exciting. Now, before we move any further, I'd just like to once again ask all of those of you who are joining us just to send us a little message as to where you are, where you're based in the world, where you're based in Japan, if that's where you are, and just send that into your chat box. And then, Paul, if you don't mind, just shouting out some of those names just to see where everybody is. And we just want some interaction. We're going to be asking you throughout the session today to send us some details. Part of the training is interactive, so we want to hear from you. So just use the chat box and just let us know where you're from. And Paul, if you don't mind, just sharing a few of those with us. As many.
Yeah, we've got some already. So we've got May from Tokyo, Kyoko from Osaka has come up as well. Hi, Akiko. Thanks for saying hi. Whereabouts are you, Akiko? And we've got a couple of people from UK as well visiting, and Akiko is in Tokyo as well.
Okay, fantastic. So we've got some people from the UK as well as in Japan, an international crowd today. Super happy to hear that. So let's move into a little bit about why we created Mind Nation. And to start with, I just introduce myself. My name's Dan Harrison. This is me. I am originally from Spain. I was born in Mallorca. I spent many years growing up there and then moved to the UK where I finished my education. I've also lived in the US and also in the Middle East, and now I am based here in Japan. So I live in the South Island of Kyushu in a place called Itoshima, a beautiful, beautiful part of the world. My professional background is in international sales and marketing. And then in more recent years, I've transitioned across into business and performance coaching. Now, not everybody is familiar with with what a coach is. So just to give you a very, very simple understanding of that, let's use an example of a professional athlete or an Olympic game athlete. Now, for them to get from let's say, a university or a basic amateur level up to that international standard, up to being a professional, they need someone to support them. They need a coach, somebody who guides them, mentors them, educates them through that journey to take them to that next level. And that's exactly what we do here at Mind Nation. We guide you, we mentor, we support, we educate, and take you through that journey. Now, why did we create Mind Nation? Well, my last 14 years was spent in the Middle East. And whilst there was a lot of value that I gained from living in the Middle East at the time, there were certain things missing in my life. Things like not enough time with my family, not enough nature, working too many hours in the day. And what I did is I basically addressed that, and I changed that, and I brought myself here to Japan with my family. Now here's a few pictures just to show you a little bit about me and my life. And my life now, I'm very happy to say, is spent much more engaging with my family, spending time with my sons, with my wife, living outdoors, traveling, more of an adventure lifestyle, much more connected with nature. And lastly, spending a lot more time coaching and teaching, which is one of my great passions, hence the reason the creation of Mind Nation. So that's just a little bit about my why. And now I'm going to pass you over to Paul, who's going to tell you a little bit about his.
Thanks, Dan. There he is. Nice picture of me there. So thank you, Dan. Something Dan didn't mention, Dan and I actually went to school together in England. So we met 25 years ago now. And despite being on different paths, I've also traveled the world. I've lived in New Zealand, Australia now, and I've lived in Canada for 2 years. And I've worked through those areas, and I've lived in Southeast Asia a little bit. Despite going on different paths, we've been on a similar journey of personal development. We've spent a lot of money on educating ourselves in personal growth, confidence, business, money, and so on. And so my work experience is in business training. I train leaders. I'm a leadership development trainer and a property investor. So I invest in property in England, in Australia, and in New Zealand. And I have a podcast. So I have a podcast that's international, and I interview professionals in mental wellness, so mindset, physical health, and financial health. And I just love the podcast. Some of the interviews, some of the content that I bring to you, that we bring to you in Mind Nation, is from those interviews. So different journeys. It's very similar loves of nature. My wife, Pascal, she's French, but she's also from New Zealand as well. That's Canada, and with climbing, we just absolutely love rock climbing. There's a picture of me on my podcast there. I'm at that every week. And that picture in the sun by the beach, that is Adelaide, Australia. That's where I live at the moment. It's about 20 minutes from my house, and it's just such a stunning, wonderful part of the world. I found that I was working really hard when I was living in England, working really, really hard, lots of hours, and not getting any reward. There was no fulfillment for me. And I made a decision that I was not happy with that, and I needed to change it. And so I did a lot of education around that and found myself needing to get outside, and that's what took us to Australia. So I decided to design my life on my terms. My why is connection, integrity, and shared knowledge, teaching and training and coaching. I just love that. I'd like to ask you, those of you who are with us tonight, what is your why? What is important to you in your life? What is it in your life that you value the most? It could be family. It could be that you value time with family and friends. It could be money. It could be lifestyle. It could be work. You may love to work. Many of the people joining us are in professional jobs like medicine and education. So what is it that you love? What is your why? Can you share that in the chat box for us? Just write in the chat box, what is it that's important to you in your life? Is it family, time, money, work? What is it, your children? I'd love to see what you've got to say. So we'll just give a few people some time to come up with something. Great, so money, got a couple of monies on there. Time, family, yeah, that's really good. So very similar. Most people, the most important thing to them is family and quality time. That's the most important thing I think everyone really wants in their life. Okay, so that's great. Think about your why. Keep it with you throughout today and throughout what we talk about tonight, because we're going to refer back to your why a little bit later. I want to just really quickly take you through an overview of Mind Nation. And one of those, well, in Mind Nation, we deliver a 3-phase system. It's a training system. The first phase is called Clarity. That's a 12-step program to help people achieve a new level of personal growth, a new level of clarity of self. And so it's to teach people through 12 modules over a 12-month period how to improve in certain areas of their lives. And we'll take you into more detail later on that. The second phase is leadership, where we teach people how to lead and inspire others to achieve great things. A leader doesn't have to be a leader of people. It can be the parents of a family. It can be somebody who's head of a community. That can be a leader. And purpose is our third phase. That's where we provide a one-on-one mentorship to help people create something bigger than themselves, help people create a global impact, whether it be a new business or to create a local initiative or something bigger, something national or something global. We help people do that. Today, we're talking about habits, positive habits, and we're going to help you create a new positive habit tonight. What you can see in front of you is Clarity. That's our 12-step program. And you can see there's lots of different areas of that, which we deliver to you over a 12-month period, 1 module per month. Today, we're going to give you a small taste of one of those modules, and that module is My Habits. But you can see there we've got My Goals, My Time, so that's time management, My Finances, how to create better money and create wealth, My Gratitude, and My Family, and My Meditation is one of my favorites, being mindful, meditating, breathing. And then there's lots of others as well, which we can go into a little bit later. So I think it's time we jump into the core, the foundation training for tonight, and that is habits, positive habits. So just to let's define what a habit is, first of all. So some habits serve us, some habits are good for us, some habits don't serve us, though we maybe think they do. So a bad habit might be smoking. It might be a poor routine of sleep. A bad habit might be checking your phone late at night rather than sleeping. A good habit could be your physical health, could be your ability to spend time with quality people, your time with family. A good habit could be your nutrition, for example. So there's a real, everybody really knows what habits are, but we don't always break it down to really what they are and how they serve us. It's really easy to fall into a bad habit and not realize. So we're going to get into the training today and get really into how to create a positive habit. Dan, what's a bad habit that you've got? What's something that you have that's a bad habit?
I would say it's probably using my phone late at night. But I'm happy to say that that's something that I'm conscious of. So I do try to leave my phone away from the bed at night, or I do try to shut the phone off early and not reach over and pick it up. I think what's really important to focus on with regards to good or bad habits is recognizing what they are and trying to change those bad habits into the good habits, and always focusing on how we can improve, constantly improve. Everybody has bad habits, no matter how small or how large they are. It's just about trying to always improve from where we're at. So let's delve straight into the training for this evening. Now, hopefully everybody has downloaded and printed out the PDF that we sent to you in the previous emails. If you haven't, that's all right. You simply need a piece of paper and a pen in front of you, and you can very quickly draw what we're going to show you next. But if you have, that's fantastic. Have it out ready. So the first thing that we're going to start off with is what's called the Wheel of Life. Some of you may have seen this before. Some of you may have completed this before. It's a very useful and powerful tool of self-reflection. What the Wheel of Life allows us to do is very quickly look at the different areas of our make up our life and score ourselves as to how we feel about each one. So if we work our way around the wheel, we've got business and career, we've got finance, we've got health, and that could be all incorporating our physical, mental, spiritual health. We've got family and friends, we've got love, we've got personal growth, we've got fun and recreation, and we've got confidence. Now these all make what is, if it were perfect, a nice rounded wheel of life.
I'd say if anyone's got a full marks on every single one, you're probably on the wrong training program.
I'd be very surprised if anybody's ever hitting tens, because that's not being honest with yourself. I've never hit tens on all of this. There's always an area that can be addressed. So what we want everybody to do is to take their wheel of life and to now score themselves. Okay, and listen, nobody's going to see this but you. So be as honest as you possibly can. Don't overthink this. We're only going to need a few minutes to complete each area. A great way to think about this is the first thing that comes to mind is most likely the most honest one, is probably the truest answer. Okay, now what we've got for you right here is just an example. You don't have to color code it. You can just draw a line. We've just made it nice and colorful for you, so it looks nice, really. But have a little look through. Go ahead if you want to get started on that now. If you've got any questions, drop it in the chat box, and we'll come to those as we look through this. But just take your time and just start answering each one, and think to yourself, where am I currently in my finances? Do I have several streams of income supporting my financial state? My health. Am I at peak physical fitness for my age? Am I perfectly mentally stable for my current situation? Score yourself accordingly. Personal growth. Those of you who are here, obviously you are doing all right, or you're trying to improve on that personal growth. So I'm very happy that you're here on that. So please go ahead and score yourself. I'll give you just another minute just to finish that off. Is there anything that you want to add about this section, Paul?
No, I think you've covered everything. I think it's just important to remember to be honest, and by being honest with yourself, you'll get a much better result later. I've got a couple of questions just around health. So yeah, it is physical health, Hinata. It is physical health, and it could be mental health, physical health, emotional health, or spiritual health. You know, how healthy do you feel in yourself? That could be how you could score it. And anything between 0 and 10. I would imagine if anyone's able to stand up and breathe, they're not on 0 health. Everybody has a certain level of health in their body. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So hopefully you've already completed that. Like I say, we don't want to be spending too long. The first thing that jumps into your head is probably the truest. So I'm hoping that everybody's finished that. What I would like to ask from everybody is, first of all, share with us your highest scores in what area. We won't read out your names. We're just interested to hear. So if, let's say, you've got, just give us some numbers. We don't need in what areas, just what numbers we're hearing. So share with us in the chat box. Have we got any 8s, any 9s? I'd love to know if anybody says 10. I'd be very impressed if anyone says 10. The reason I joke about that is there's always room for improvement. So I've never ever scored myself a 10, because I know that there's always ways to improve myself. So pop it in the chat box if there's any coming through. Paul, do you want to share those with us?
We do have a few. Actually, we've got a couple of people who've just joined us. So I want to just give you a quick crash course in this page for those who've just joined us. Score yourself on all of these areas. So just out of 0 to 10, personal growth, fun and recreation, confidence. Give yourself a score is where you feel you sit with that. So that's just where we're at the moment. Yeah, we've got no 10s yet. That's good. We're not. It's a couple of 3s in there. We've got a 5. We've got a personal growth 5, health 3. So that's quite low on the health. Somebody needs, is wanting to improve their health. Yeah. So yeah, a few different numbers for a bit of a variety. A couple of 8s in there as well.
Fantastic. Listen, it's absolutely fine that you're scoring high and absolutely fine that you're scoring low. The idea is that you're putting these numbers down so that we can address them, so that you can realize that, hang on a minute, maybe I am suffering when it comes to my love life. Quite often what we find is people who are high in business, career and finance often lack when it comes to friendship or love or fun and recreation. So it's quite all right, but the idea of filling this out is to address the weaker points. Now what we're going to do is we're now going to move on to the next section, and we're going to address the weakest one that you have in your wheel of life. So whatever the weakest number is, now whether that's a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, whatever the lowest number is, that's the area that you're going to focus on today to help create a new habit. If you've got 2 of the same number, just choose one or the other. It really doesn't matter. What you can always do is from the training you take today, you can complete it and then you can repeat the same process, but for the other one. And this can be continually repeated and repeated and repeated. I personally complete this wheel of life myself on a regular basis, every couple of months, maybe 3 months, just to reflect. So let's move on. And taking that lowest score, you are now going to set yourself what is a 4-week challenge. The reason it's a 4-week challenge is because science has proven that we need 30 days, thereabouts, to create a new habit. So by repeating the same action on a daily basis or several times a week, that starts to instill a new habit into our routine. So for the purposes of this example, and this is just ours, yours will be whatever your area is. For our wheel of life area of improvement, we're using personal growth. Okay, so for this example, we've scored a 3. Now that's a fairly low number, so what we need to do is try to improve that. So what we're going to do for this example is we are going to set ourselves a challenge that we're going to achieve over the next 4 weeks. And we've got it scored there, so we've got weekly notes, and we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4, and that's with reference to each week. So week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. All we're going to do right now is we're going to come up with our weekly challenge. What is the weekly challenge? And for the purpose of this example, the weekly challenge is to listen to 1 audiobook each week for 4 weeks. So an audiobook can be, it's just a book that you listen to. If you've never listened to audiobooks, there's some incredible apps nowadays. Please connect with us if you want a recommendation. Audible.com is a great one. Drop us a message in the chat box. We can get back to you with the details for that. And what we've given you here as well is 4 incredible books that I personally recommend any of our clients to go through as a great way to improve your personal growth. If you've never read any of these books, then I recommend that you make a note of them now, or again, if you don't have a chance to write them now, drop us a message in the chat box and we'll send you the details for them. Incredible books to take you to the next level in your personal development. Now, the last thing that we need to do, which is one of the most fun parts of this whole 4-week challenge, is give yourself a reward. It's really important to celebrate success. Okay, so when you complete these 4 weeks, you've completed these 4 books, as for the example, we put a nice little treat. This is actually my treat. I treat myself to a 7-course French dinner. I like my food, and so this is my treat. Now, yours can be anything you want. It could be a day out with the family. It could be a quick holiday for a long weekend. It could be a game of golf. It could be a manicure. It could be a massage. Anything that you wouldn't normally give to yourself. Treat yourself here. This is a reward. You don't have to think of this straight away, but don't leave it too long, because we want to have that in mind when we're completing the challenge. So if we were to look at, and I'm just going to go back a couple of pages here, slides, sorry. If we were to look at, let's say, health. So if you wanted to create one for your health, I remember Paul saying that somebody had a 3, I think it was, Paul, on their health. So if we wanted somebody, if you're struggling with your health and you don't regularly exercise, or you don't sleep well, or your diet is poor, then these are areas that you could set yourself in your 4-week challenge. So your challenge could be, for example, go walking for 30 minutes every day or 3 times a week. It could be to maintain a healthier diet, change certain aspects of what you eat, maybe too much fried food, maybe too much sodas. It could be sleep. So it could be make sure that I'm getting a solid 8 hours of sleep every single night, that I sleep well. So that's for health. It could be, as one final example, we could talk about, let's say, family or friends. Making time to spend more time with family or friends, giving it that extra hour in the day or half an hour in the day that you commit purely to spending with, say, your children or your spouse, your loved one, or even with your friends, whatever the value is there. So there's a few examples. If you're not sure about what to put in the 4-week challenge, please just send us a message in the chat box and we'll help you out with some suggestions. Paul, is there anything you'd like to add at this stage about this?
Oh, well, we've got a couple of questions. Yeah, I've got Aki asking, how do I decide on a reward? How to choose a reward? And so, yeah, that's a great question. Choosing a reward is really thinking about what it is that you love and what will make you feel great once you achieve this this challenge. So think of something that's, I've got 2 points to make here. Think of something as a reward that's going to make you feel that you really deserve that reward, something that's going to make you feel happy. And it could even be simply, for me, for my wife and I, we love to create experiences for each other. So rather than buying gifts, so we'll create an experience. So maybe I'll book her in to a spa for a massage and a manicure. That will be her reward. And so something that is going to make you feel great, because you deserve it, because you set yourself a challenge and you've achieved it. So you deserve that reward. The second point I wanted to make is, when you're coming up with your 4-week challenge, keep it really, really simple, because there are statistics to say, we're coming up for Christmas now. Okay, it's now, just about November, so it's almost Christmas, and New Year's Eve, and everybody on New Year's Eve thinks, oh no, I've eaten too much food over Christmas. I need to lose a few pounds, so I'm going to go to the gym 4 times a week from January the 1st. Now, that's not likely to happen. 95% of the goals that are set on New Year's Eve do not get achieved. So my advice would be, when you're coming up with your challenge, make it very, very simple. if you are improving your health and you want to, as Dan said, go for a walk, maybe just walk twice a week to start with. And then the next week, increase it to 3 times. And so just really gradually increase it, and then you can layer on harder and harder challenges until you get to the bigger goals. And that's really what we talk about in Mind Nation when we jump into the habits module in Mind Nation. We get into the bigger goals and make big change for habits. Thanks, Dan.
Yeah, excellent. One thing that is very important to me that I find so valuable when I do this this 4-week challenge, and I do this myself regularly. One, because it's great fun. I like the reward, and I like to have this up on my wall. I print this out and I put it up on my wall, somewhere where I can see it all the time. It reminds me to constantly do it, and I can tick it off as I get closer and closer to achieving it. But what you can do is by repeating this, if you did a 4-week challenge every month or every other month, imagine where you could be in 12 months' time. Imagine the difference of your life by improving constantly, whether that's in health, friendship, family, finances, business, any area, personal growth. That constant challenging yourself and improving yourself, the change is huge. So I absolutely recommend that you go out and you take action and you commit to your 4-week challenge, and you make those changes and you improve on your life. And ultimately, what we're always working towards is, going back to this wheel of life, is we want a nice rounded circle. That's kind of a perfect world that we want, is to have it nice and even. So go and start working on those and improve them. Now, Paul mentioned this just a second ago. This area that we're working on today, this 4-week challenge, is just part of My Habits, what we offer here in Mind Nation, and part of our first phase, clarity. When we go into this in greater detail and we spend a month on this topic, the growth that you will get within your habits is incredible. So what you've had today is just a little taste as to what we work with you when you become part of the Mind Nation family. And so just as a quick reminder, the Clarity, which is our 12-step program to help you achieve a new level of personal growth and clarity of self, that's what we've kind of taken a small bite of today. That will then take you into the leadership part of our program, and then finally into our purpose. What we want to just give you now, and before I pass you back over to Paul, who's going to tell you a little bit about what Mind Nation provides, is just to remind you that thank you very much for those of you who are still with us now, and stick with us because we've got an incredible bonus coming up towards the end of today, this evening. So stick with us, and I'm going to pass you back over to Paul, who's going to take over now.
Great stuff. Yeah, so just stick around for that bonus and the special secret gift that we mentioned at the beginning. Now, what Mind Nation provides is, we talked about My Habits, but what we actually deliver in the Clarity program, the first phase of Mind Nation, is a 12-month program, 12 modules over 12 months. And we deliver, part of that program is a monthly live masterclass, a monthly training, just like this one, but more detail. And what we do as well with that program, it is live, but we have busy lives. We're all very busy people, so that's why we've spread it over a month. So we've given you 24/7 access. So even though we might record it live, we provide you the recording so you can always come back to it. So what you're getting is full access anytime that you need. So it's really convenient for you to access our content, access our education and training whenever, on the bus, on the train, while you're waiting for the kettle to boil, you can be listening to our training. That's 24/7 access. And also we give you a private members only learning portal. What that is you get your own logins, all of our content and all of our education is online. It's somewhat like an online university situation where you've got an online portal and you can access all the content and you can interact with us in there. It's huge value. Each month we'll bring you an expert interview. So we'll have a guest from internationally who usually they've written a book on the subject. They're usually an expert, maybe a PhD, and they will bring you their expert advice and insight into the module. For example, confidence or finance will bring you an expert so they can share their insights and help you get to where you want to get to. And then throughout the program, we provide lots of other content. So one of the main things and one of the most important things for me and the most important things for Dan is that we give you support at all times. If there's ever a question, we have a weekly Q&A. You can contact us anytime. We also have a private community, a private Facebook group, so you can contact and be in touch with your other students. So it's quite a close community. We all work together. We are in this together. Lots of audio content. My podcast is available through there. Books, recommendations, articles, and so on. And to really round things off, we'll give you a weekly challenge or a quiz, which helps you embed the learning. So that's what we provide in the first phase, Clarity, the 12-month program. A huge amount of content, huge support, and some really good quality information and education. The biggest part, and this is my favorite part, is that if you become a member of My Nation, we don't just give you the content for the 12 months. You have it forever. So we're just giving it to you and you have it for life. So if you are 2 years down the track, 3 years down the track, and you think, I need to recap on my health or my finances or my confidence, then you can come back to the access. You can come back to your training portal at any time because you get lifetime access. And that's our gift to you. So just in summary, that's great content, a really wonderful community of people that are all in the same goal. We all have the same direction. We want to grow and be better at ourselves, better in ourselves, and better at life. The ongoing continuity that's my responsibility and Daniel's responsibility to help you achieve your goals. As coaches, that's what we do. We help you achieve your goals. We make you accountable and we help you continue. And then in-depth coaching. That's our favorite part. That's where we bring you just wonderful education and ongoing support. Now, I've had a few questions just as we've been talking here. How much to join up to the membership? How much does it cost? And I'm definitely going to tell you that. I'll get into that in just a moment. But what I want to do is just really briefly tell you, Dan and I had to value the business. We had to value the Clarity course. And to do that, we spend a bit of time thinking about what is each area individually worth. So it's hard to value each area because it's quite high quality content. And so what I'm about to show you is what we believe the value of the course is. I want to reassure you this is not what you would pay. This is what we see as the value of the course. Now, we've put it in US dollars, but there's in yen at the bottom, 1,250,000 yen. That's what we believe the value of the course is if you were to purchase each area individually. And that's the lifetime access. But we're not going to charge that because that's not reasonable. We are really passionate about bringing this quality content to you. Dan and I have spent tens of thousands of US dollars on our training and our education. And for us, it's important that we can provide that to you at a reasonable cost, something that isn't going to break the bank, something that isn't going to cost too much, but something that has value. And so for that lifetime access, now remember, education is an investment in your future. It's important here to realize that nobody can achieve anything without education. And so rather than charging you 1,250,000 yen or 11,000 US dollars, we provide My Nation at a monthly membership of 15,000 yen, or in US dollars, 135. So for 15,000 yen, huge value for a small amount, and that's the amount per month. That's our regular monthly amount. if nothing changes, nothing changes. I love this quote because it means if you leave the call today and don't take any action, that's fine, but nothing is likely to change. Our next course starts on the 1st of December this year. And so we're inviting you to be part of that course. And you've stayed with us through this training. I'm really, really grateful to you for doing that. So we've got to provide you with the bonus. We talked about giving you a bonus, and this is that bonus. Instead of 15,000 yen for that first month, we're going to simply charge you at a discount of 5,000 yen. Only 5,000 yen. Now, that's a low amount of money to try us out, and I'm really confident in what we provide. Dan, you said a really good quote earlier today. What was that quote?
That was it. The best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The second best time to plant a tree is right now. So yes, we could have all been improving our whole lives. But if we haven't, or even if we have, now is the best time for us to get started. Because as the quote at the top says, if nothing changes, nothing changes. I mentioned it earlier. Imagine where your life could be right now if you take action. Where could you be in 1 year? How much could you improve on how your life is at this stage? That's about taking action. And so, yeah, I think personally, as I'm looking at this number coming up, I'm thinking to myself, I think we might have gone too low. I think we're giving this away too much. It's crazy to me as I look at it. But when Paul and I have discussed this, we want to share this information. We want people to get engaged and learn from what we've learned and experience what we've experienced. So there's some powerful stuff here.
Yeah, and we really want to get you on board and make it easy for you. Now, I want to remind you, we talked about your why, and so just think back to earlier on when you thought about what was important to you. Was it education? Was it family? Was it your health? Was it money? Was it work? What was your why? What was important to you? Because that's where you draw your passion from. That's where you draw your intent. And if you feel that there's an area of your life that you want to improve on, we can help you do that. And that's why we've invited you onto the Mind Nation journey. We're so confident in this system. Dan and I have been on this journey ourselves. We created the system that got us to where we are. I'm so proud of where I've gotten to with my property investment, with my wife, my family, and my location. And Dan, I'm sure, is the same. We're so confident in it that we're giving you a no-risk 30-day money-back guarantee with no questions asked. So we're not going to ask you questions about why you want your money back. It's a 30-day money-back guarantee because we know that we can deliver. We'll give you a full refund if required. So just to summarize, as we draw to an end very shortly, just to summarize, Mind Nation Clarity, the 12-month program, is 15,000 yen a month. But your first month is just 5,000 yen. So we're making it really easy for you to join us, and we're making it no risk with a 30-day guarantee. So you can try before you buy. But there's something else, because we have a super secret gift that we mentioned earlier. Those of you who've stayed with us, thank you. So grateful. This super secret gift, this is just for those of you who registered today. And I have a link that I'm going to grab here and drop it into the notes in a moment. For those people who decide to take action, those people who decide to be decisive, we're giving you a private coaching session with Dan or myself. 1 hour private coaching. Now, 1 hour with Dan is worth well over double 15,000 yen. 1 hour with Dan is well worth more than 1 month of our membership, as it is with myself. So that's free. We're giving you that for free, just for taking action today as our gift to you. And I thank you again for that. So I'm going to hit enter here. I'm just going to send you a link. If you are interested in joining us as a membership, like I said, discount on the first month and money back guarantee. If it's not for you, hit that link. That will take you off to our PayPal. Now, we use PayPal because it's really secure for credit cards, and I use PayPal for all of my transactions. If you are already a member of PayPal, you can hit the yellow button. If not, then hit subscribe, and you can enter your details and fill out the form there to join up. If you do have any questions on that, we do have a Q&A in a moment, and or you can email us. Just remember, though, when you do sign up, you will get a request from PayPal to confirm your email. You need to hit that because that'll make everything work. So you just hit the confirm email once you've filled out your details and hit submit, and that will get everything moving for you. So look, I want to give you my deepest thank you for coming along with us. Like I said, take action, hit the link that I've sent to you all, and we want to see you as part of the membership. So we want to see you, but what we're going to do is stay online. For those of you who haven't already, click the link, and thank you if you have. For anyone who's not sure, stay with us. We're going to go into a Q&A now and just give you answers to any questions you might have if you're not sure whether you want to join us now, or you have questions about the payment, or questions about the Wheel of Life, or any of those other parts of it. So that draws us to a close for the training, and we're going to stick around now for as long as you need if you have any questions at all. So please use the chat box to answer any questions. Dan, have you got anything else you want to add as well?
I just want to say thank you very much for those people who took the time out to join us this evening. I've been in that position where I'm trying to figure out what's the next thing for me, and I want to improve, and ultimately the only way to do that is to take action. But it does take time. It does take commitment, and it takes effort. And to be honest with you, most people won't do that. Most people won't take that time, won't make that commitment, won't make that effort. And likely chances they'll be in the same position in 12 months, in 5 years, in 10 years. But those people that take the action, it's worth it. And I've done it myself. Hence the reason we've said this already this evening, Paul and I, that this is a journey that we've been on, and we found ourselves in a great place in our lives by creating that, and hence the reason we created Mind Nation was to give that back, and we want everybody to be part of that. So come along for the journey. It's going to be exciting, and yeah, I hope to see as many of you on board as possible. So it's going to be good fun.
Great stuff. So we've had a couple of questions come through, Dan. So we're just going to stick around now and answer some questions. So one of them is about the PayPal screen, filling out PayPal. Can you just go back a couple of screens to, yep, that one. So look, if you're not a member of PayPal, guys, if you're not a part of PayPal, you don't have an account with PayPal, that's fine. You don't have to at this stage. You would hit the button on the left that says subscribe. That will ask you to enter in your details so you can join us, and that will ask you for your credit details. And then you'll get an email where you just need to confirm your email address. That's because it is a really secure way of paying, and we want to make sure that your information is protected. And PayPal is a world-renowned portal for payments. So just, if you're not a member of PayPal, hit subscribe. If you're already with PayPal, simply hit the other button on the right-hand side, and over there, the yellow one, and that will ask you to log in, and you can make the payment from there. Don't forget, it's 5,000 yen for the first month and then 15,000 after. And what else have we got here question-wise? Can I join later? Look, of course you can, but we're offering a specific bonus for you here to have a free gift of an hour of our time in coaching, and that's worth more than double our monthly membership. So if you want to take part and get the bonus, then today is the day that you need to take action. So if you really want to get those bonuses, please click the link and join up now, and we can talk after the webinar, after the masterclass, and chat more about that private session. So jump in now before time runs out.
I'd also just like to add here that please take note of the email address. This is my email address at mindnationjp.com. So dan@mindnationjp.com. As Paul said, the bonuses and the one-on-one hour coaching session, private coaching session with us is available for those of you who join off the back of this today. But if you've got further questions and you're really not 100% sure on that, we don't want you to commit unless you're 100%. If you're really not sure, by all means, connect with us via email, and we can discuss other things further from there.
And yeah, just finally, we are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, so feel free to jump in and join us on there and follow us on there. We'd love to connect with you. So that's all the questions for now. And anyone else who has any questions after this session, please connect with us by email, on Facebook, on Instagram, and we'll see you on the other side. So we're going to draw this to a close and say good night and thank you so much. So grateful.
All the best, everybody. Bye-bye for now.